The Conjuring Last Rites is the fourth film in the mainline Conjuring series, and it follows the story of Ed and Lorraine Warren as they go on their career-killing last final case. The Conjuring has been one of the most interesting series to follow in all of modern cinema. While public opinion has really faded on the series over the past couple of years, they keep churning out movie after spin-off, after requel, after legacy sequel, and people are showing up in droves. People love the Conjuring movies. When I take a look back at the most popular or highest grossing films of a particular year, if a Conjuring movie dropped then, it's normally going to be in the top 10 or near and or around it, just because people show up for these movies. And in my opinion, you can contribute that to really delivering the same thing over and over again. And if it works for some people, they're going to show up because consistency sells. You and I both might think that who's going to see The Nun 2? The Nun 1 was already god-awful. Why would anybody expose themselves to this garbage? But then you realize it's another religious horror movie with a lot of jump scares, and people like that stuff. General audiences still showing up for these movies, and then the public opinion being really sour on them, made the Conjuring franchise one of the most divisive of our time. You can't call them useless or garbage just because people keep showing up, and obviously there is a really strong fan base for them. So I always find it interesting to really look into why these things are so popular and why so many people support them. Getting all of that aside, with The Last Rites, I was expecting something pretty big. Well, I didn't go in with sky-high expectations or anything like that. I was expecting the franchise to really give the audience what it wants and end this really era-defining franchise on a really high note. In fact, I'm on record as of saying to enjoy the mainline Conjuring series. It's only the prequels and the spin-offs that I really have a problem with, but that doesn't paint the full picture here, and it doesn't really explain why The Conjuring Last Rites is so exhausting to get through. I have sat through every single Conjuring movie. The Conjuring 1, 2, The Devil Made Me Do It, this movie, The Curse of La Llorona, all of the Annabelle movies, all of the Nun movies, I have seen them all. Never before have I felt this franchise just on autopilot. There are worse movies within this franchise. There are objectively just abhorrently made dumpster fires like The Nun. But here, everything feels so tired. You can tell all of the actors, the people behind the scenes, are really done with this franchise, and they just want to shit out whatever energy they have left and put anything on the screen. We're gonna do one more Conjuring movies to retire on, because that'll make us enough money. Every aspect of The Last Rites feels phoned in, and I found myself checking my phone to see how much time was left in this barely 2-hour long movie around 30 different times. The movie is structured in a way where you are stuck in these really plotting and really tepid character development moments. The actors are really struggling to get through and are seemingly improvising. They really want you to get to care about the Warrens as characters in this film, and I just was never feeling it because that's not the point of these movies. The Warrens were always just vessels for their two main actors to give really good performances through. We were never meant to take them seriously as a family or as characters or as titans of the horror franchise. And by trapping us in these moments, they become so much more unlikable and so much more like their real-life counterparts. And introducing their daughter, Judy, just made things even more groan-inducing. And that's especially true when you get to the scares of this movie, because they are some of the weakest I have ever seen. There are endless sequences of characters going into dark rooms, checking every corner, a very lazily put together creepy score plays under it, and then a monster pops up out of nowhere, and then we cut to the next scene. I genuinely do not understand why the filmmakers chose to pack a bunch of these fake out jump scare sequences next to each other, because it just felt cheap. It felt lazy. It felt like they didn't care. I'm honestly shocked somebody was paid to edit this film because the pacing and the order of events makes this thing feel 4 hours long. You just feel like you're trapped in this endless cycle of crappy jump scare, really poorly written and acted in every other element of filmmaking moment of character development. And it throws it back and forth at you, and it's so nauseating, but also so milquetoast and so eye-numbingly boring that you're just left with this empty husk that goes on forever. I could not tell you how many times I turned to Cam in the movie theater and gave her a look that probably said something along the lines of, can we just leave already? We know where this is going. We know how this is going to end. Let's just get out of here. I don't feel like wasting another hour and a half on this piece of shit. But I did stay through. I didn't leave because I know I needed to review it, and I don't really like doing that. I think that's unfair, but man, I was this close to leaving because this movie just gave me nothing. And even for someone who can stomach a lot of the Conjuring stuff, right? I said earlier in the review, I have seen all of them. I have sat down and watched all of these movies. I enjoy a couple of these things. I think the first 2 Conjuring movies are some of the best examples of that early 2010s, like late 2000s jump scare era horror. I think those movies are some of the best examples of that. But it's gotten so stretched out, and the dead horse has been beaten to death 4 times over at this point, that you're left with nothing. You are left with an empty shell of a movie, and I'm honestly pissed off on behalf of the Conjuring fans. Because even at their worst, even at their most batshit crazy, these movies have a point to them. They have a selling point that people will show up for, obviously. And Last Rites doesn't even give us that. There was not a single moment of atmosphere, of tension, cool creature design, even nothing. It's devoid of any of that. The only redeeming qualities of this movie are the 2 central performances. Pierre Farmiga and Patrick Wilson are the only 2 people that are actually trying in this film. They've perfected these roles. They've played these people for 10 plus years now, and they're both really good actors. So, you know, you get to see them kind of retire these people that they've been for so long, and that's cool. That's a cool aspect of the movie. It's not really a saving grace because their performances aren't Oscar-worthy or anything like that. They're not going to knock your socks off. I'm going to forget about it in like a week, but they were trying. And that's the bar that we have set with this movie. They were trying, they put effort in, and they did their job. They are blameless, mostly, for this movie. Everything else around them, though, is my least favorite kind of movie. It's the one where you can feel the corporatism and you can feel the cash grabbiness of it all through the screen. It physically bothers me. This movie was made with one goal in mind, and it was to squeeze the cash cow of the Conjuring fan base one last time before they had to retire it. And if I'm a big time Conjuring fan, I'm skipping this one. I'm saying no, I'm not going to a theater to support this because this is garbage, and I deserve better than this. I, as an audience member, deserve better than this bullshit ass. And I'm not even a Conjuring fan, so I couldn't imagine how pissed off people must be leaving that theater today. I'm gonna give The Conjuring Last Rites a 1 out of 5. I can't quite give it that 0.5, that coveted half star rating, because it has one saving grace or 2 of the main actors. But man, I hated this movie. I really hated this movie. It got under my skin, and I don't ever want to think about it again. So that's my thoughts on The Conjuring Last Rites. Please let me know what you thought of this movie in the comments down below. I would love to hear from Conjuring fans and how they felt about the movie, because again, I'm coming from kind of an outsider's perspective, but I would really like to know your guys' thoughts in the comments specifically. If you're new here, please give us a like, a subscribe, all that good stuff. Share this to your friends, and I will see you with the next video. The Blu-ray video will be coming out next week. It's all filmed. I just need to comb through it one more time and then give it some time to upload and process and all that stuff. So be on the lookout for that, and I will see you with the next video. Thank you so much for watching.